guys, welcome to my channel. We are reading Emily, Windsnap, and the Ship of Lost Souls. We are on chapter 8, and here we go. Alright, children, there isn't much space, so you'll have to be patient. It was Monday morning, and Miss Platt was attempting to keep order while she shuffled around on the hill, ready to take turns to go into the watchtower for our shallows and shipwreck session. 3 at a time on the ground floor, so your presentation with Lyle. After that, you can go up to the observation deck. Before your turn, have a look around the outside of the watchtower. There's plenty to see. Please be careful at all times and stay away from the edge of the cliffs. I stood looking out to sea. Aaron came over to join me. Wish we could have done the session with the shipwreck class, he said. Going out to see the shipwrecks for real would have been much better than just reading about them. Yeah, I agreed. Although after yesterday's experience, I was actually quite happy not to be exploring underwater shipwrecks up close. Aaron leaned in and lowered his voice. Actually, if I'm honest, I'm not too bothered. No? How come? He kicked a stone between his feet. Well, you know, he began. I turned towards him. You know what? I know what. Aaron kicked the stone again, this time firing it off the side of the hill. Then he looked at me. Just then, Mandy called to us from the watchtower. Hey guys, we're up. Aaron pointed at Mandy, then at me. That, he said. This, I get to hang out with my pals. Come on, let's go. And with that, he turned away, leaving me once again wondering if he was trying to tell me something, if it was about how he saw me only as one of his pals. I was quite happy being in the dark for now. We joined Mandy at the door to the watchtower. Remember, we need to find everything we can that might give us information on the ship, Mandy reminded us as we went inside. Yeah, and don't forget about Lyle's talk. We can go upstairs to observation level and have a look around there too, Aaron added. Let's hope we find something. It's probably our best chance, I said, quietly crossing my fingers. To our right, there was a door with a private, no entry sign on it. Opposite, Lyle was sitting in an office. Come in and make yourselves comfortable, he said, without looking up as he shuffled some papers around on his desk. I'm just tidying up from the last talk. Give me 2 minutes and I'll give you a history of some of the ships that have been lost on the rocks around our beautiful island. We scuttled into his office and stood awkwardly in front of his desk while he finished sorting his papers. Okay, ready? Sorry to keep you waiting, he said. As he looked at us, his expression changed. Correction, as he looked at me, it changed. It seemed as though whatever made his face shape had suddenly lost an elastic, and whatever made it face-colored has been diluted with gray water. Oh, he said. Oh, it's you. He quietly stood up and went over to the door. He glanced both ways, then softly closed it and came back into the room. He gestured for us to sit on some stools in the corner of his office and pulled his chair away from his desk to join us in a small circle. We need to be quick, he said. The next group will be expecting to come in soon. Lyle pointed at me. What's your name? Me? What had I done wrong? Yes, what's your name? Emily, I said. Lyle nodded sharply. Okay, so Emily, these are your friends. Yes. Good. You trust them? I glanced on either side of me at Aaron and Mandy. Yes, I do, I said. But I don't understand why you're asking all these questions. Aren't you supposed to be giving us a talk? Lyle waved my question away. The other groups, yes, not you. You're different. I swallowed. Have I done something wrong? I asked. Had he found out what Aaron and me going off on our own? Was he going to tell the teachers? Could I not even manage the week without getting myself into trouble of one sort or another? No, not at all. Quite the opposite. Look, we haven't got long. Tell me everything. We stared at him. What was he talking about? Tell you everything about what? Aaron asked. Lyle stared at me straight in the eyes. The ship. His voice cracked as he said the words. The ship? Which ship? I asked, playing for time. Was this a trick? What was he trying to do? Make me say something impossible so he could tell me how crazy I was? Lyle gazed burned into me. The ship you saw, the one you mentioned in front of everyone. Describe it. I want every detail. For a moment, I pictured the ship that as I swam around it, the hull, the decks, the sail, the woman. I began where to start, and should I start? We agreed I wouldn't tell anybody about it. Why do you want to know? Aaron broke in. Good. Someone needed to be in charge here. I certainly wasn't. Lyle glanced at him. Research, he replied sharply. We need to keep records of all ships that come through here. There was something about the way he said it. He sounded as wooden as a ship's deck. We had no idea why we'd seen the ship, but if Aaron and I were the only ones who could see it, that made us valuable. And until we knew more about Lyle's motives, who knew what kind of value he had to him? In the past, I had seen spied on, lied to, and even kidnapped by Neptune, all because I was a semi-mere, and because of what that meant. I wasn't about to let that happen again. Plus, we'd first seen the ship when we were on the part of the island we'd been told was out of bounds. There was no way I was going to willingly get myself into trouble by admitting that. She didn't see anything, Aaron said firmly, leaning right across me and answering Lyle directly. He stared pointedly at me. You were just kidding around, weren't you? Before I had the chance to answer, Mandy broke into, We put her up to it, she said. Then she forced out a laugh that sounded like a hyena having a sneeze fit. Yeah, she went on. Emily really got into, like stories and things, and she's got a good imagination. All the teachers say so. She turned to me. Don't they, Emily? Actually, at least that part was true. Yes, they do. I agreed. So we said she had to ask the question that used her imagination, Aaron put in. Just for fun, making a joke, you know? I wasn't 100% sure what Mandy and Aaron were getting at, but I knew they were protecting me, and I suddenly felt overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. Until I saw Lyle's face, it looked as if the door has closed across his eyes. Fun, he said, nodding slowly. A joke, making a joke. His voice sounded like gravel. Then he got up out of his chair and shuffled over to the door. He turned the handle. You'd better leave, he said, opening the door. Leave. We'd only just gotten here. The three of us looked at one another, unsure what to do or what was happening. I'm sorry, Lyle said. I'm just not feeling too well today, I thought. His voice broke. I thought he tried again. Then he shook his head and cleared his throat. Please tell Miss Platt you're all welcome to visit the observation deck for as long as you like, but I won't be conducting any more talks today. There was something about his tone that made it very clear this wasn't up for discussion. We awkwardly got up from our stools and shuffled across his tiny office towards the door. Lyle stood there, his hand tight on the handle, his face turned down towards the floor. For a split second, something about his posture made me want to take it all back and tell him the truth. Then he looked up and his eyes met mine. Just go, he said, please. Even if I'd wanted to tell him, I couldn't. Not now. There was no doubt that the only thing he needed from us then was space. Which, to be honest, was absolutely fine with me. All of this was way too strange for my liking. And I was unhappy. I was happy to get out and leave him to it. I started making my way out of his office. 5 more seconds and I would have been gone. A glance in the opposite direction, it would have been fine. A different way around the desk and I would never have known. But none of those things happened. Instead, I walked around the back to Lyle's desk, glanced at the photo in the frame, and my world tilted. The photo of the woman, a woman I'd glimpsed very recently, a woman whose face had been burned into my thoughts ever since I'd seen it. It made no sense. It surely couldn't be true, and yet it was. The woman with the big green eyes and the strange straggly red hair, the one I'd seen screaming inside the vanishing ghost ship at sea, was now smiling brightly at me from the picture in the frame on Lyle's desk. Wow. And that was chapter 8, guys. That was a crazy chapter. I will see you guys in chapter 9.